Hello, beauties. I'm coming on to talk about Virgo, and the name of this video is Virgo is Not a Victim. I love being provocative. We've spent so much of the last 2+ years in a state of division, especially over the big V. And I'm not talking about the Virgo V or even the vagina V. I'm talking about the other V. But if I say the word, I might get slapped by Meta or YouTube, two companies who have profited immensely by feeding the separation and censoring dissent. When we create separations and distinctions between individuals, we create the status of victim, a state that is based on an unnatural hierarchy by imposing someone else's authority and sovereignty over our own. We see whole groups of people being told, you are a victim. I mean, who are we to tell someone else that they are a victim? When we tell someone they are a victim, we are potentially creating a whole shitload of trauma for them. We're taking away their power. I don't know about you, but I don't want that responsibility. Virgo, as the divine mother, loves all of her children. Like all mothers, she sacrifices and endures much hardship on our behalf, but she is never the victim. To be sure, women and the feminine have suffered for millennia at the hands of others, but we have not been the victims for millennia. This is the great lie, that somehow because we are women, we are therefore victims. Labeling the feminine as a giant victim of the masculine perpetuates inequality and imbalance and makes it so much harder for all of us to stand in our divine sovereignty as goddesses and creatrix and mothers and queens. And we are goddesses and mothers and queens and creatrixes by our divine birthright. Being a victim is a choice. That might sound really sacrilegious to a lot of you, but the truth is we can always choose to not be a victim. I remember when I first read Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss back in my early 20s, when I was going through a major health crisis. It was the first spiritual book I ever read. She totally blew my mind by saying that we could choose not to be a victim anymore. And in fact, letting go of victim status was one of the first steps to healing. In today's day and age of all these different theories that are being thrown out there, especially around gender, race, and sexuality, it is perhaps revolutionary to take a step back and proclaim, I am not a victim. No matter your gender, race, and sexual identity, it doesn't mean that you stop acknowledging your traumas or your wounds that you are healing. It simply means that you're taking your power back. The divine feminine is never a victim. She's always in control. Even though so many of us feel like we are totally on our knees right now, in full surrender of what she wants for us, any temporary suffering is always based on what our highest selves want for us. The world is asking so much of us right now. I know it's cracking us wide open day after day, asking us to expand our hearts and let go of the shields and walls we put around our hearts with the naive goal of lessening the pain. That never works because our hearts know better. They collaborate with the divine so that the more we constrict our hearts, our love, and our light, the more our hearts rebel against us until we are begging for grace and mercy, which always come. We are now in the waxing phase of the Virgo lunar cycle. Do what you can this lunar cycle to take control of one aspect of your health and well-being. Commit to it with all the love in your ever-expanding heart. Maybe it's walking or sitting outside for 15 minutes a day. Maybe it's meditating for 5 minutes. Maybe it's making sure you get enough water throughout the day. For many of us, that step is spiritual and not physical in nature. And it's important to be able to discern. Another Virgo keynote, discernment, and unravel for yourself what you need. That one acknowledgement leading to action that will fuel your inner fire and stimulate healing for your whole being. When you choose for yourself what you need versus letting someone else tell you what to do, which is so pervasive in the healthcare space with objectionable language like patient compliance or medical information, bleh, it becomes an act of triumphant empowerment and self-love, which then begets more healing. This is the loving lesson of Virgo and the divine feminine. When we step out of victimhood, we can then embody our whole essence and personhood. When we let go of our victimhood, we can step into our personhood much more effectively, more truly. We can really, truly heal because we are no longer a victim. We take back our control from the other. If you'd like to know more about the Virgo lunar cycle, you can head on over to my website, www.divinelyjennifer.com/lunar offerings to access the reading for the Virgo new moon, as well as journal prompts to help you identify the next steps on your healing journey. I've also got a 10-page analysis of the key dates and transits for the lunar cycle for those of you who want to know what's coming. And there's a lot coming, so you don't want to miss it. And if you'd like more customized support, please book an astrology and health reading with me, which you can also do from my website, www.divinelyjennifer.com. Let me support you in integrating the whole of who you are. It's okay to ask for help and support. You don't have to go this alone. You have the keys within you, but sometimes we just need to know what those keys are. I love you. Have a beautiful day.